It starts as a bitter bean and ends as a melt-in-your-mouth delight. Chocolate is one of the world's most loved treats, but its journey from farm to bar is far more complex than you might think. Let's take a full, fascinating look at how chocolate is made, from the cocoa bean to the final packaged bar. Harvesting and fermentation. The journey of chocolate begins on cocoa farms, mostly located in tropical regions near the equator. Cocoa trees produce large, colorful pods that grow directly on their trunks. Each pod contains around 20 to 50 cocoa beans, surrounded by a sweet, white pulp. Farmers harvest the pods by hand using machetes or specialized knives. Timing is important, as only ripe pods produce high-quality beans. Once harvested, the pods are split open, and the beans, along with the pulp, are removed. The beans are then placed in shallow containers or covered heaps to begin fermentation. This stage is crucial because it develops the flavor of chocolate. Natural yeasts and bacteria break down the pulp, generating heat and triggering chemical changes inside the beans. Fermentation typically lasts 5 to 7 days, during which the beans are turned regularly to ensure even processing. Without proper fermentation, chocolate would lack its rich flavor and complexity. This step transforms the raw beans from bitter and astringent into the foundation of chocolate's signature taste. Drying and transport. After fermentation, the beans are spread out under the sun to dry. This reduces their moisture content and prevents mold growth during storage and transport. Farmers rake the beans regularly to ensure even drying, which can take several days, depending on weather conditions. Once dried, the beans are sorted to remove defective ones and packed into sacks. These sacks are then shipped to chocolate factories around the world. At this stage, the beans are stable and ready for industrial processing, roasting, and cracking. When the beans arrive at the factory, they undergo cleaning to remove dust, stones, and other impurities. The next step is roasting, which further develops flavor and aroma. Beans are roasted at controlled temperatures, typically between 120 degrees Celsius and 150 degrees Celsius, depending on the desired flavor profile. Roasting reduces bitterness and enhances the chocolatey aroma. It also makes the shells brittle, preparing them for the next stage. After roasting, the beans are cracked open and the shells are separated from the inner nibs. This process is called winnowing. The nibs are the valuable part, as they contain cocoa solids and cocoa butter, the key ingredients of chocolate. Grinding and cocoa liquor. The cocoa nibs are then ground into a thick paste known as cocoa liquor or cocoa mass. Despite the name, it contains no alcohol. The grinding process generates heat, which melts the cocoa butter inside the nibs, turning them into a smooth liquid. Cocoa liquor is the base for all chocolate products. It can be further processed to separate cocoa butter from cocoa solids or used directly to make chocolate. At this stage, the flavor is still intense and somewhat bitter. Additional ingredients will later balance and enhance the taste. Mixing and refining. To create chocolate, cocoa liquor is mixed with other ingredients such as sugar, milk powder for milk chocolate, and extra cocoa butter. The proportions vary depending on the type of chocolate being produced. The mixture is then refined to improve texture. Large rollers grind the particles into extremely fine sizes, often less than 20 microns. This ensures the chocolate feels smooth on the tongue rather than gritty. Refining is a critical step because texture plays a major role in how chocolate is perceived. Even the best flavor can be ruined by a rough or uneven texture. Conching, developing flavor and smoothness. One of the most important stages in chocolate production is conching. The refined chocolate is placed in a conche machine, where it is continuously mixed, aerated, and heated for several hours or even days. During conching, unwanted volatile acids are removed, and the flavor becomes smoother and more balanced. The process also helps coat particles evenly with cocoa butter, improving texture and mouthfeel. The length and intensity of conching can vary depending on the desired quality. Premium chocolates are often conched for longer periods to achieve superior smoothness and flavor complexity. Tempering, creating the perfect structure. After conching, the chocolate must be tempered. Tempering is a controlled heating and cooling process that stabilizes the cocoa butter crystals. Proper tempering gives chocolate its glossy appearance, firm texture, and satisfying snap when broken. It also prevents issues like bloom, where the surface becomes dull or develops white streaks. The chocolate is carefully cooled and reheated to specific temperatures, encouraging the formation of stable crystals. This step requires precision, as incorrect tempering can affect both appearance and texture. Molding and cooling. Once the chocolate has been perfectly tempered, it reaches one of the most satisfying stages of the entire process, molding. At this point, the liquid chocolate has a smooth, glossy finish and a carefully stabilized crystal structure, meaning it is ready to be shaped into its final form. Whether it will become a simple bar, a filled praline, or a creatively shaped seasonal figure, this is where chocolate starts to look like the product we recognize on store shelves. The tempered chocolate is first poured or deposited into precision-engineered molds. These molds are usually made from food-grade polycarbonate or silicone, designed to give the chocolate its exact shape and shine. In high-speed factories, automated depositing machines control the flow of chocolate, ensuring each mold cavity receives the same amount. This consistency is essential for uniform size, weight, and quality across thousands of bars produced per hour. Once filled, the molds are moved onto vibrating tables. This step may look simple, but it is extremely important. The controlled vibration helps release trapped air bubbles that may have formed during pouring. If left inside, these bubbles could create holes or weaken the structure of the chocolate. The vibration also ensures that the chocolate spreads evenly into every corner of the mold, creating a smooth surface and sharp edges once set. After vibration, the molds enter a cooling tunnel, one of the most critical environments in chocolate manufacturing. Inside this tunnel, temperature and humidity are tightly controlled. The cooling is gradual and carefully managed, usually involving multiple temperature zones. This ensures that the cocoa butter crystals remain stable and that the chocolate solidifies evenly without developing cracks or surface defects. As the chocolate cools, something interesting happens at a microscopic level. The cocoa butter contracts slightly and forms a stable crystalline network. This natural contraction is what allows the chocolate to pull away cleanly from the mold later. It also contributes to the satisfying snap you hear when breaking a well-made chocolate bar. Once fully set, the molds move to the demolding stage. The solid chocolate pieces are gently released, often with the help of automated tapping or inversion systems. The finished chocolates come out with a smooth, glossy surface that reflects the quality of proper tempering and cooling. At this stage, manufacturers can also introduce creativity and variety. Before or during molding, different ingredients may be added to enhance flavor and texture. Nuts such as almonds or hazelnuts can be placed into molds before pouring chocolate, creating embedded crunchy layers. Caramel, nougat, or fruit fillings may be added as liquid or semi-solid centers, resulting in filled chocolates with multiple textures in a single bite. Some premium chocolates even involve multi-layered molding, where different types of chocolate, dark, milk, or white, are carefully layered or swirled together. Decorative elements like embossed patterns, logos, or artistic designs are also formed directly within the mold, giving each piece a visually appealing finish. By the end of this stage, what was once a flowing liquid has been transformed into beautifully shaped, solid chocolate pieces, ready for inspection, packaging, and eventually, enjoyment. Packaging and distribution. After the chocolate has hardened and been removed from the molds, it moves to the packaging stage. Bars are wrapped in protective materials to preserve freshness and prevent damage. Packaging also plays a role in branding, with designs that attract consumers and communicate product information. Labels include details such as ingredients, nutritional values, and expiration dates. Finally, the packaged chocolate is shipped to retailers and markets around the world. From factory to store shelves, logistics systems ensure that the product reaches consumers in perfect condition. Quality control and final checks. Throughout the entire process, quality control is essential. Samples are tested at various stages to ensure consistency in flavor, texture, and appearance. Any deviations are corrected to maintain high standards. Chocolate manufacturers also monitor factors like moisture, particle size, and fat content. These parameters influence the final product's quality and shelf life. The journey from cocoa bean to chocolate bar is a remarkable process that combines agriculture, chemistry, and craftsmanship. Each step, from harvesting and fermentation to conching and tempering, plays a vital role in creating the chocolate we love. What begins as a simple bean transforms careful processing and attention to detail. The result is a product that delights millions of people around the world. So the next time you enjoy a piece of chocolate, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey behind it. From tropical farms to high-tech factories, every bar tells a story of skill, science, and passion. If you enjoyed this deep dive into how chocolate is made, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on what process you'd like to explore next.